and hi everyone. This is Abdul Rahman from the Modern Requirements team, and today I'll be hosting your webinar. So today I'll walk you through on how AI can simplify and elevate project management for you, and you can do all of that directly inside of Azure DevOps using Copilot for DevOps. Now to start, uh, let me go ahead and share my screen. Perfect. So let's start with our so essentially we've planned a small PPT. I'll walk you through a few slides. Shared some of the information about modern requirements and Copilot for DevOps as a product, and then we'll move ahead to our demonstration where I will showcase you these features. And once we do that, then we can move ahead to answering any Q&As and close that up. So moving ahead, I want to start this with the challenges for project managers. So, as a project manager, we constantly balance structure and change. Now, these are the six that I identified for this specific demo. So, our demo would be covering how Copilot for DevOps can help you with these challenges. So these six challenges define our daily reality, from managing unstructured inputs to dealing with constant scope changes, dependencies, and endless documentation. So the 6 points here we have is unclear or incomplete requirements, difficulty ensuring quality and consistency in work items, limited visibility into scope changes and dependencies, time consuming and manual documentation, reporting or managing dependencies across multiple projects and releases, and difficulty maintaining alignment and traceability across team. Now, moving to our next page, a quick introduction to the Copilot for DevOps tool. So it is the number one AI assistant for Azure DevOps, built natively inside Azure DevOps. That means no integrations, no external data movement, everything stays secure within your Azure tenant. Now, Copilot for DevOps also enhances how teams plan, build, and deliver by automating the repetitive work that slows the projects down. And we not we're also uh, Microsoft's number one go-to AI transformation partner. All right, so again, we have some of the walkthroughs about Copilot for DevOps. And now I'll share my screen and move to share my screen. So to launch Copilot for DevOps, just go to your Azure ADO, and from the backlog tabs here, we'll select our Epic. And to launch it, just click on the three dots, go to Copilot for DevOps. Now, once we launch that, you can see all the different functionalities or features that Copilot for DevOps offer. And we'll start this demo by Elicit. So what Elicit will do for you is it will help you write or format requirements, and it can help you turn those scattered notes or ideas into complete actionable backlog items. For example, we have this Epic, which is the dynamic CRM report generation system, as input here. And let's go ahead, create a feature. Click on generate. So once we do that, in a few seconds, you'll see on the left pane of the screen, we have all the suggested features for this specific Epic. Now the question could be, what all information does it take into context? So if we have the Epic here, it will take into context all of the description, all the fields that you have for the Epic. We go ahead, you can select that, get the output here. or you can even select multiple. Let's select these three features that we want to create. Now, once you do have the output, you can use the AI edit tool. So AI edit tool gives you a word-like interface where you can do manual changes or even get AI suggestions for these specific outputs. For example, if you want to add something here, you can do that manually, or if you want to remove something, you can also do that. You can also use the quick action item buttons. For example, you want to increase the length of the description, you can definitely do that. You can also get suggestions. You can also get further suggestions. For example, here we have our description. You can use this to get a AI suggested description. Perfect. And then we also have the chat with work item feature here. It lets you interact with this output or make any refinements or changes using chat. Now, once we have the desired output, we'll just go ahead, save and close. Now, to move ahead, let's go ahead and create linked work items. So once we do that, you will see that in a few seconds, we have work item IDs assigned to these features. So if I click on this, you'll see we have the feature with the description and the title. Perfect. Now, if you want to drill further down, you'll see you have the option to invoke Copilot against these features directly from here. Or we can also just click on the title and you'll see there is a direct hierarchical link. There would be a direct hierarchical link between our epic and our feature. Now let's drill down further and generate a user story from this feature. In a similar fashion, click on generate, and then we'll have our suggestions for the user stories. So we can go ahead and click on see more. So this will have the Copilot tool make more brainstorming ideas and come up with more options for you. Once you have those, you can go ahead and select multiple in user stories. Now we can take these user stories. Again, we also have the AI edit feature here. So if you want to make any changes, any refinements, you can do that. And once you are content with the output, you can create a linked work item. So once these work items are created, and if I click on them, you'll see it maintains that hierarchical link. All right, now this was using Elicit with existing work items. But let's say you want to use Elicit without any existing work item. So for that, let's go back to home and click on the three dots here. You'll see the setup elicitation button. So what setup elicitation does is it will let you do elicitation with or without any work item. For example, here we have our work item selected. And let's go ahead, create a CRM tool and upload attachments. Now, these attachments could be Word file, these could be your video meeting transcripts. So you can essentially attach transcripts, chats, any sort of documentation, and it will take into context from there. For example, here I have a business document. We'll go ahead, upload that. And this is for MFA. Now, you have the option to keep both the work item and your attached document as context, or you can completely remove the work item and only use the attached document or file as input. Once we do that, you see we don't have any work item linked here. Let's go ahead, click on generate, and now it will generate these features taken into context or attached document. And similarly, we can select the ones we want and then create linked work items. So that is elicit. Now let's move on to analyze. So what analyze does is it will act as a quality gate. So it reviews every work item using models like Invest, SICSI, Moscow, Pablo, or SWOT. We'll just go ahead with the SICSI method, click on generate. Now analyze will help you figure out any missing details, ambiguities that this specific work item might have, which will help you save time and ensure your backlog is always sprint ready. So here it will give you the rationale for rating, the suggested improvements, and the scores on those as well. And then you have your overall quality score alongside your summary as well. Now what I've done here is I've used our custom instructions tab to give us even more input and more value by using Analyze. So here what we've done is based on suggestions, give me some new suggestions for the Epic to improve its overall score. So here we have those new recommendations as of what we can add. Perfect. Now there's also another way to use Analyze. You can use Analyze with multiple work items. So let's jump to our user stories and select multiple user stories and then invoke Copilot against them. Once we do that, we have our Analyze feature. We'll go ahead, select the Moscow method and click on Generate. Perfect. Now you'll see it will segregate these work items into must have, should have, could have, and would have categories, give you the rating, the rationale, and the suggested improvements as well. So you can also bring in multiple work items and use Analyze feature to access them. So that is Analyze. Now let's go back to our Epic and launch Copilot. All right, so we've done elicitation, we've analyzed. Now let's move to impact assessment. Now, impact assessment helps you manage change. So with impact assessment, you can see how one update ripples through the project. So you can make informed decisions before those problems appear. Now here you can select your work items. You can also bring in multiple work items if you want, or even queries that you might have created. So here we are we want the CRM to have real-time updates. We don't want it to be static. The dashboard should have real-time updates and click on perform analysis. Now, impact assessment will give you the explanation of what impact the desired change could have. It will also give you the tasks. Now, these tasks can be considered action items by the team to help you overcome these impacts. But there's also another layer to it. Once you click on Analyze Next Level, it will drill down further and also do an assessment on all or any linked work items to this work item. For example, right now it is analyzing the other work items we have. So we have an epic, which is related to our feature here. We also have different user stories. All right, it will also analyze your different features. Now, if I click on them, it will give you in similar fashion, it will give you the explanation, the tasks. Now, these tasks, again, it can help your team to overcome these changes or the impact of these changes. You can go ahead and save this as a Word file or a PDF to share with your team or save locally on your machine. Perfect. So that wraps up our impact assessment. But there's also a lot of stuff that you can do here. For example, you can use the custom instructions tab here to get story points or effort, measure effort here by using custom instructions as well. Perfect. So we've covered impact assessment as well. Now, coming back to, now I want to touch on the SOP document generator. So for SOP document generator, let's go back to our Epic because it will give us more information to work with. All right. So the SOP document generator helps you generate release notes, BRDs, and all of those documentations which take a lot of time and effort to manually draft. And it can take multiple work items again as input. It can take queries as input. For now, we'll just keep our Epic as input here. And let's say uh, generate release notes for the dynamic CRM report generator and click on, so it gives you two options. It gives you generate and generate with Q&A. So when we use generate with Q&A, it will ask you some questions to help you further refine the output that you're looking for. Let's go ahead, click on generate with Q&A so I can show you that. So it will go through our epic, it will go through all that context, and it will come up with some questions that would be asked to you. So you can select from those questions and really understand. So it gives a better idea to Copilot as of what we're trying to achieve here and what we want as the desired output. Perfect. So with Generate with Q&A, we have the questions here. For example, what's the primary purpose of this CRM report generator system? So here you can select from the generated answers, or you can even add any detail or comment if you want. So let's say to support dynamic customizable report, then we'll have what is the which key capability is the most critical. We will say data visualization. So here you have these all different questions you answer, and it all helps to further refine and build that release node. Once we click on generate, it will start working to create our release notes for us. Just give it a minute there. Perfect. And here we have our release notes. Let me just scroll through it. Now you'll see that we do have this prompt section at the bottom. So for example, if you want to make any refinements to this, or if you want to add or remove any topics or subheadings, for example, let us add a glossary section to this. Let's click on regenerate. So you can essentially use this bottom prompt section to make any refinements, changes, add or remove stuff. And let's see, we should have an updated release notes, which should also have a glossary section to it. Perfect. So here we have our updated document and we have our glossary section as well. Now, once you've made the refinements or any changes that you desire, you can go ahead and save this again as a PDF or as a Word file. Let's go ahead, save that as a Word file. Perfect. So this is how we were able to do elicitation from an existing work item or even from our uh, video transcripts or chats, etc., or attached documents. And from elicitation, we were able to analyze our created work items. From analyze, we were able to move directly to impact assessment. So we could really assess what impact the new work item or the new change that we're trying to make would have. And moving from there, we jumped to our SOP document generator, which helps you generate BRDs, SOPs, release notes, etc. So it really helps you cut down a lot on that manual effort. Perfect. So that is all that I wanted to showcase. We also have the chat feature, which brings all of these functionalities together. So here you see we have a create work item, we have create query. So you can create new work items, you can get a list of them, make changes, reprioritize, etc. Now, chat can do all of the chat can essentially work as a central hub. It can access all of your work items and it can also do what all of the features do. So I won't be spending a lot of time right here, but just to show you a little snippet of what chat can do, here we have uh, so I just give it a prompt to summarize the current status of all active epics and features in my project, and it will fetch all that information for you. It will also list you any dependent work items for the specific epic that you've mentioned, so back and so forth. Yeah, so that is chat, uh, and that wraps up our demo for today. Perfect. So that was our chat, and going back to our presentation. Perfect. So we're done with our demo. I would also like to touch on our AI for DevOps Academy, where we have regular seminars, so you can register there if you want. Perfect. And there. So just to end on a quick note, is that I would like to I would like to amplify as of how, just in a few minutes, we saw how Copilot for DevOps streamline all of the biggest challenges that PMs faces regularly. We were able to, from all the way to elicit or creating a requirement to document generation, all of that manual effort saved. Perfect. So thank you once again. Thank you so much for this session and joining everyone today. And yeah, that's it.